Un segundo acontecimiento ya mencionado fue la llegada de los guatemaltecos a Chiapas.
The second situation or reason was the arrival of the Guatemalan people from Guatemala to Chiapas in Mexico.
Se suponía que como obispo iba a guardar la frontera, pero se metieron 25,000 guatemaltecos a México.
As a bishop, I was supposed to guard the border against all these people coming from Guatemala, but I don't know how, 25,000 of them were already in my diocese, in my place.
Las primeras personas que recibieron a esos guatemaltecos fueron las comunidades indígenas fronterizas.
The first peoples who welcomed these people coming from Guatemala were the indigenous communities in Chiapas.
Después de 4 o 5 días de caminar durante la noche, bajo la lluvia, llegó un grupo de personas a Amparo, a Huatinta, pidiendo posada.
After
3 días.
After 3 days and four nights of walking from Guatemala to Mexico, finally they arrived to this town called Amparo Aguatinta, of course.
Y les dijeron, ¿saben ustedes cuál es nuestra situación en Guatemala? Pedimos posada con ustedes. Se reunió la comunidad y les mandó decir.
They asked, do you know what is our situation in Guatemala? What we are asking is shelter to the indigenous community. And the indigenous community met, and then
les dice, mientras ustedes estén aquí con nosotros, sabemos que son carne de nuestra carne, sangre de nuestra carne. Mientras tengamos una tortilla o un poco de frijoles, lo compartiremos con ustedes.
While you will be here, you will be flesh of our flesh, blood of our blood, and you and I will be one.
10 años duraron en aquella comunidad.
They stayed for 10 years in that community.
Historias semejantes se desarrollaron con otras comunidades fronterizas que recibieron refugiados guatemaltecos.
Similar histories or stories happen across the border between or among the indigenous communities during those years.
Ya para este tiempo, la gente de Estados Unidos, de Canadá y de Europa sabía dónde quedaba Chiapas.
By then, people from the States and Canada were learning and knew where Chiapas was.
Pero sin que yo sepa cómo ni por qué, hubo un acontecimiento que rompió todos los récords y que hizo que Chiapas fuera conocido en todo el mundo, el levantamiento armado de los zapatistas.
But without knowing how and the why, there was an event that it was so important that it was like an explosion around Chiapas, and that was the arm raising from the Zapatista front in Chiapas.
Estaba yo para dormir el último de diciembre de 2003, cuando me llegó una llamada telefónica. Señor obispo, perdone que lo despierte, pero quiero darle una noticia.
I was ready to go to bed, and then I received a phone call saying, I'm really sorry to bother you, Mr. Bishop, but there is something that you need to know.
Mi hijo acaba de volver de una fiesta y me dice que a la orilla de la ciudad de San Cristóbal hay un grupo de gente armada.
My son just came back from a party, and he's saying that there is a group of armed men at the border of the town.
No se preocupe, le dije yo. Sabemos que es día último del año y mucha gente acostumbra sacar su pistola y disparar una vez por cada mes del año y quizá una vez por cada mes del año siguiente.
So his answer was, oh, don't worry. You know, it's the last day of the year, and this time people used to come with their pistols. They shoot to the air for once for every month, and maybe sometimes they do it for the past year and for the next year.
Bueno, dijo y colgó el teléfono. Pero al rato, a los 5 minutos, me volvió a hablar. No, señor obispo, perdone que lo moleste nuevamente, pero mi hijo dice que esta gente es un poco extraña, que está enmascarada y que no trae pistolas sino rifles u otras armas.
So the woman say, okay, that's fine. And then 5 minutes later, she called him back and saying, you know what? My son is saying that these people look different. They are not carrying pistols, they are carrying rifles. And they are with a mask. So,
De hecho, el movimiento zapatista no fue el único que existió en Chiapas. Antes de él hubo 3 movimientos armados que fueron contenidos oficialmente por el gobierno.
in fact, the Zapatista movement was not the first armed movement in that region. Before them, there were another 2 movements that were suppressed and killed by the army, by the government.
Pero este fue un movimiento atípico que no se había dado una cosa parecida en todo el continente.
But this one was different. It was very atypical, something that hasn't happened before in any place in Latin America.
Primero, porque era un movimiento indígena. Los otros movimientos que existieron en América Latina eran movimientos de mestizos donde participaban indígenas, pero este es un movimiento indígena donde participaba algún mestizo.
The first thing is that this was an indigenous movement. In other places in Latin America, what happened is mestizos or mixed working and then bringing indigenous with them. But this was a pure indigenous movement in which some mestizos participated.
La segunda característica era que este movimiento no pretendía, a diferencia de los otros movimientos revolucionarios en América Latina, tomar el poder.
The second difference was that this movement, different from other movements in Latin America, didn't pretend or want to change the whole society of the country
Holding the power.
and tomar el poder, and to take the power. I wonder if this is Russian or Chinese.
En realidad, la forma de raciocinar de los otros movimientos era esto: no nos dan justicia, estamos demandando justicia y no nos la dan, tenemos que tomar el poder para hacer nosotros justicia.
The reasoning of the previous movement or other movements in Latin America has been that there is injustice, therefore, in order to become a justice society, we need to take the power, to hold the power.
Pero los zapatistas dijeron: nosotros no queremos tomar el poder, queremos que con la participación cívico-política de los ciudadanos pasemos a una sociedad de transición para llegar a una sociedad más plenamente democrática.
The Zapatistas said, we don't want to take the power. What we want is that through the civilian participation to create a transitional society that will lead to justice within the society.
El 28 de diciembre en México, no sé acá, se llama Fiesta de los Inocentes, y ese día se pueden decir mentiras que parezcan verdades.
In December 28, there is a date that they call the Days of the Innocent. And in that day, it's a April Fool's Day, I think, is that you can say lies that they look like truth.
Le preguntaron al subcomandante Marcos que por qué se había levantado en armas el día 1 de enero, si era para protestar por el Tratado de Libre Comercio.
They asked to Comandante Marcos why the uprising was on January the 1st to protest against the NAFTA agreement.
Y él dijo: bueno, en realidad queríamos levantarnos el 28 de diciembre, pero nadie nos iba a creer.
In reality, We wanted to do this on December the 28th, but then nobody will believe us.
En realidad fue una grande sorpresa para el ejército la declaración de guerra de los zapatistas. El día último del año no reaccionaron. El día 1 o 2 de enero estaban viendo dónde se movían, si tenían alianzas o ligaduras en el propio país o fuera del país. Entonces hubo un momento de grande sorpresa para el gobierno mexicano.
The army and the government didn't know how to react to this situation. And the first 2 to 3 days, they were really looking more for connections between the movement and external, like other countries, etc. And they didn't know what to do.
Nosotros hemos sido acusados de haber promovido este movimiento. En realidad, antes del movimiento zapatista, si un mosquito moría en la selva, el obispo tenía la culpa.
We have been accused of promoting this movement, and what happened was that in those times, even if a mosquito was killed, they say, oh, it was the bishop.
En realidad, no había pasado inadvertido para nosotros la existencia del movimiento zapatista. Lo detectábamos en las parroquias y algunas veces en conflicto con la diócesis.
In reality, we were aware that something was happening when we visit our churches and congregations. And in some cases, we found ourselves in contradiction with the movement.
En algunas parroquias, por ejemplo, dijeron que el obispo estaba levantando un ejército especial y entonces invitaban a la gente para pertenecer a ese ejército, a mi nombre.
In some places, they were saying that the bishop was creating an army, and they were inviting people in those congregations to join the army supposedly created by or led by the bishop.
Cuando nosotros vimos que en una comunidad habían robado los indígenas 30 autobuses, dijimos, esto ya llegó a su límite.
When we learned that in one community the indigenous had stolen 30 buses, then we thought, oh, this is too much.
Aunque teníamos otro indicador, cuando las demandas de justicia fueron cada vez más fuertes, reprimidas, y los indígenas no tenían miedo, dijimos, esto ya llegó a su límite histórico.
When we realized that every time the indigenous population made a claim in regard to the rights, and they were suppressed by the government, but the indigenous were not afraid anymore, we realized that something here was different.
Varios meses, o sea, en el mes de mayo de 1993, de anticipación al movimiento, yo comuniqué a distintas personalidades en Roma la existencia de esa situación y cómo había nubes en el horizonte amenazadoras de torbellino.
Many times during May in 2004, I noticed what was happening, and I was in contact with Rome, letting them know that something was happening, that there were these clouds in the horizon announcing a huge storm coming.
Y en el mes de mayo escribió una carta pastoral que personalmente entregué al romano pontífice, indicando los problemas que había en el trabajo pastoral con los indígenas y también lo que sucedía en el horizonte y la amenaza de cosas graves.
And I sent a letter to the Vatican explaining what was happening, those clouds of threat coming, and the different threats that were happening, and that something was going to happen soon.
But I don't send the letter, I personally gave the letter to the Pope in Guatemala.
So it's not that he sent the letter. He went to Rome and he
No,
gave...
Yucatán. when the Pope came to Mexico.
Or when the Pope came to Mexico, then he had the opportunity to deliver the letter personally to the Pope.
Y
Sorry.
recibí después una respuesta a esta carta de parte del Romano Pontífice.
And I received an answer from him later.
Pero habíamos visto el sufrimiento, la injusticia y la impunidad de los crímenes contra el indígena y habíamos, por tanto, visto que aquello tenía un caldo de cultivo muy fuerte.
But we have seen in the past the impunity by which the government was oppressing and suppressing and putting in danger the life of the indigenous communities. And we saw how the oppression has been working in that area for a long time without any justice for the indigenous population.
El 1 de enero de 1994, a las 3 o 4 de la mañana, estaba yo recibiendo llamadas telefónicas de la BBC de Londres o de otras organizaciones internacionales para preguntarme lo que había pasado. Yo no lo sabía todavía.
January 1st, 2004, very early in the morning, I received these calls. Oh, 94, sorry. I'm a little late. In 1994, I received these calls from the BBC, from different international newspapers, asking what was happening now there.
A esas horas, o más bien dicho, 2 horas más tarde, 6 o 7 de la mañana, hablé por teléfono a las parroquias en las cuales había comunicación telefónica para preguntar qué era lo que estaba sucediendo allí.
These calls coming from outside were around 3 o'clock in the morning, so later on, around 7 o'clock, I started calling different congregations asking where I knew something was happening to get more information from them.
Un señor de Suiza, que jamás vi ni conocí, me mandó una carta diciéndome que yo les dijera a los zapatistas si querían aviones, tanques de guerra, que ellos lo podían conseguir.
It was this man from Switzerland who I never met, and I never heard from him again, who sent me a letter asking me if the Zapatistas were interested in tanks, planes, and heavy weapons.
Los zapatistas tenían armas muy rústicas. Inclusive le dijeron un día al subcomandante Marcos que cómo llevaba a aquella gente a la muerte, porque algunos que fueron muertos en campaña llevaban rifles de madera.
The weapons that the Zapatistas were using were very rustic, very primitive, and such as on some time, at one moment, the same indigenous were asking to the Zapatistas or to Comandante Marcos, how can we do this? Because people or indigenous who were killed by the army, the only thing that they were using were fake weapons, just from good, not really weapons.
Pero yo creo que la única bomba que hicieron estallar los zapatistas fue una bomba de comunicación. No sé dónde la pusieron, porque pronto se conoció el asunto antes que yo mismo supiera lo que estaba pasando.
The only weapon that I remember is something that they created a bomb of communication that I learned after that, because suddenly all this information was all over the place.
El hecho es que las características atípicas de este movimiento hicieron que mientras otras revoluciones tardaron 15, 20, 30 o hasta 50 años para que hubiera el inicio de pláticas de paz, en Chiapas después de 11 días preparábamos el diálogo.
What is interesting is that what happened in other places in which it has taken even between 10 until 50 years a revolution to take place, this movement was so atypical that in 11 days people were already working or talking about conversation or peace talks.
En no menos de 2 ocasiones, a nivel diocesano, tratamos en nuestra reunión qué haríamos cuando este levantamiento armado se manifestara, y era claro para nosotros que teniendo 40 años de trabajo en la diócesis íbamos a ser llamados para la mediación.
We used to discuss in our offices in the archdiocese what can we do when something like that happened, because being there for 40 years, we knew that something was going to happen, and then when that happened, we will be called to be the mediators between the fractions of the movement.
Los tres obispos de Chiapas, a los 2 o 3 días del levantamiento armado, escribimos una comunicación al país para explicar lo que estaba sucediendo.
The three bishops from the area of Chiapas, 3 days after the movement started, we wrote a letter to the country explaining what was happening.
Los tres nos ofrecíamos para mediar en el conflicto.
The three of us offered our services as mediators in the conflict.
Pero una vez me llamó por teléfono una persona diciéndome, señor obispo, ¿está usted dispuesto a ser mediador? Le dije, ya lo hemos ofrecido. Sí, pero no es el movimiento armado algo que existe en las otras diócesis, existe solamente en la suya porque aquí está la selva.
So someone called him and said, you would like to be the mediator? And say, well, the three of us, the three bishops are interested in being mediators. Yes, the other person responded, but what happened is that the movement is only in your area because it's where the forest and the jungle is.
Pues sí es cierto, dije yo. Entonces, en esa disposición se comunicó conmigo un representante oficial del presidente de la República, el licenciado Manuel Camacho Solís, agradeciendo que yo había aceptado la mediación.
And then I was contacted by the secretary of...
Era el licenciado Manuel Camacho Solís, no tenía ningún cargo en ese momento.
Okay, so it was someone from the government whose name is Camacho Solís who contacted Don Samuel, thanking him for offering his services as a mediator.
Pero a los 5 minutos recibí otra llamada telefónica de otra persona diciendo exactamente lo mismo, que me agradecían que yo hubiera aceptado el ser mediador y que el presidente lo había nombrado para estar en la mediación. Dije, algo anda mal aquí.
But 5 minutes later, he received another phone call from someone who was also supposed to be a member from the government, thanking him to be the mediator. So when he realized that these two people were calling for the same reason, saying that they were the same thing, he thought that it was something dirty here, something tricky was happening here.
Algunas cosas sucedieron y quedó eliminado esta segunda persona y quedó Manuel Camacho Solís como representante oficial del presidente, no del gobierno.
Something happened, and so the second person was dismissed, and we never heard from him. So Licenciado Camacho was named as a representative from the president to work on the negotiations, but only as a representative from the president, not from the government.
En este momento, el licenciado Manuel Camacho Solís, estando yo en la Ciudad de México para platicar con la conferencia episcopal sobre el asunto, me llamó por teléfono.
So at that time, I went to Mexico to participate in the Archbishop's conference, and so I was approached by el licenciado Camacho.
Y me dijo, señor obispo, ¿pudiera yo viajar con usted el día de mañana? Sé que se va a Chiapas mañana. Como no, señor licenciado. Entonces, él no tomó un avión oficial, sino fue en un avión comercial en el mismo vuelo que iba yo.
And what he said was, can I go with you when you are back to Chiapas? Knowing that he was going to Chiapas the following day. And Don Samuel said yes. So this person representing the president, instead of flying an official airplane, he took a commercial plane or flight with Don Samuel.
Al llegar a Tuxtla Gutiérrez, la capital del estado, ahí estaba mi carro esperando y le dije al señor licenciado, ¿quiere usted manejar? Porque sabía que le gustaba, y él fue manejando hasta San Cristóbal, tiempo en el cual podíamos platicar bastante.
When we arrived at the airport in Chiapas, at the main city, and then Don Samuel offered this person, so you would like to drive, because he knew that Licenciado Camacho likes to drive. And he said, sure. So he took probably the passenger seat, and the other guy dropped the car. to San Cristóbal de las Casas, where is the church, no, the cathedral. Yeah.
En el camino, entre otras cosas, le dije, señor licenciado, usted y yo parecemos dos borrachitos. Dice, ¿por qué, señor obispo? Yo nunca tomo. Y dije, yo tampoco.
On their way to San Cristóbal de las Casas, Don Samuel told Licenciado Camacho, we look like a 2-liter drunks. So Licenciado Camacho looked at him and said, why? I never drink. And he said, me either.
Pero lo que digo es esto, cuando dos borrachos van caminando juntos, no se caen, porque cuando uno se va ladeando a un lado, el otro va para el otro y se contrapesan.
But what he meant was that when 2-liter drunks are walking side by side, they never fell, because when someone like this, the other one does this. So they keep the balance together.
Le dije, usted y yo nos necesitamos. Usted necesita la fuerza moral de un mediador y yo necesito la fuerza política de un representante oficial.
You and I need each other. You need my moral authority to negotiate, and I need your power as a representative from the government, your political power.
Yo le pregunté entonces una cosa, dije, le voy a hacer una pregunta y quiero que me la responda con sinceridad. Después de que termine el diálogo, ¿usted se va a lanzar como candidato a la presidencia de la República?
I want to ask you something, and I want you to be very sincere with me. After this negotiation process is over, are you going to be the next candidate to be president of Mexico?
No es que no lo quisiera internamente, pero me dijo, no, señor obispo, yo estaba por dejar el partido dentro de unos 5 días, me ofrecí para esto porque pienso que esto es un servicio al país y pienso yo que sirvo mejor al país ahora que siendo presidente.
Licenciado Camacho responded saying that, no, I'm not interested. I was ready to leave the political party, the PRI at that time, and to just be a citizen. But I believe that by doing this, I'm offering a better service to my country than being a president.
Cuando se inició el diálogo, tuvimos toda una mañana platicando con el licenciado Camacho Ruiz para decirle, señor licenciado, le queremos pedir que usted escuche con paciencia a los indígenas. Dará la impresión que ellos están repitiendo lo que otros dicen, pero si usted se fija bien, alguien resume lo que dijo el anterior y agrega su propia versión.
Something that you need to do, he mentioned to Licenciado Camacho, is when you are talking to the indigenous, listen carefully. It could give you the impression that they're just repeating each other, but what they are really doing is that they summarize what the previous person said, and then they add something extra to that. And if you listen carefully, you will find it.
Y así lo hizo. En día y medio solamente hizo una interrupción cuando un indígena habló demasiado bajo y dijo, ¿qué dijiste? No te oí. Esa fue la única interrupción que hizo en día y medio.
And he kept listening during the whole day. And the only time in which he interrupted someone was because someone who was speaking very low. So he asked him, oh, can you say it again because I can't hear?
La cosa que dijo cuando terminaron los indígenas de hablar, hablando en voz alta, dijo, ¡qué claridad tan extraordinaria! ¡Qué lamentable que que hayamos llegado a esta situación para hablar con los indígenas!
When the conversation was over, or the meeting was over, the reaction from Licenciado Camacho was, how sad is that all this has to happen to start talking and listening to these people.
Con una grande voluntad de diálogo, los indígenas aceptaron, más aún propusieron, que el diálogo fuera en español, porque ellos hablaban 4 lenguas diferentes. y hubiera sido muy difícil el diálogo con una traducción para cada lengua en favor del gobierno. Sin embargo, hubiera sido mejor el camino.
As an expression of good willingness from the indigenous people to show that they were willing to negotiate, they accepted and they proposed that the negotiation or the dialogue should be in Spanish instead of being in Mayan language, that is the four languages that they spoke.
En realidad, uno de los días del diálogo, al tercer día, como estaban bastante cansados los zapatistas, pregunté yo si querían que al día siguiente hubiera vacación o si queríamos trabajar un poco más tarde.
After 3 days of negotiation, I suggested that when the Zapatistas were probably very tired, so why don't we take a break for the next day and then we can continue?
Y en esa ocasión me dijo uno, qué bueno que tú viniste, señor obispo, porque te quería preguntar unas palabras que no entiendo. Teníamos un resumen de lo que se había discutido y me preguntó en una hoja 30 palabras que no entendía, simplemente, automáticamente, y palabras como esas que eran desconocidas para ellos.
Okay, I'm going to try to translate this. So one of the members of the Zapatistas say, oh, that's really nice, maybe it's really good, because we would like you to help us to translate some words that we can't understand. So the indigenous presented to the bishop a sheet of paper with 30 words that they couldn't understand. And some of them were like a simple, automatically, that type of words that the government were using.
Después de 3 o 4 años de diálogo, el español de los indígenas era evidentemente mucho mejor que al inicio.
And after all these days of dialogue, the Spanish of the indigenous was absolutely better than from the beginning. It kept improving.
Pero entre tanto, la función del mediador o de la mediación era muy variada.
But also then the role of the mediator, it was very varied.
Traductor cultural para ambas partes, no traductor de las lenguas, porque se estaba hablando en español, pero una traducción cultural era necesaria.
He was the role of cultural translator, not translating a language because everybody was speaking Spanish, but it was more the culture of the use of the language.
Segunda función, dar credibilidad a las dos partes. Tantos años de engaño político habían sufrido los indígenas que no creían ninguna palabra del gobierno. Entonces, la función de la mediación era dar credibilidad a ambas partes.
The second role of the mediator was to provide credibility to both sides, because after so many years of political lies to the indigenous, then his presence will give some credibility to the people coming from the government.
Quiero decir, aunque en un principio yo cometí un error y dije comandante Marcos en lugar de subcomandante Marcos, el subcomandante Marcos no participó en los diálogos porque no era comandante, sino subcomandante.
I would like to say that I made a mistake at the beginning. I called Comandante Marcos when in reality he was Subcomandante Marcos. And the Subcomandante Marcos didn't participate in the dialogue because he was Subcomandante.
La noche anterior al primer diálogo lo invitaron para que fuera traductor lingüístico y cultural ante los medios de comunicación, lo que hizo muy bien.
The first day of the negotiation, the communities invited the Subcomandante Marcos to be part as a translator for them with the media. So he was serving the community in the role as interpreter.
Lo que quiero decir, para redondear esta intervención demasiado anecdótica, es que la diócesis o mi persona mi persona no estuvo aislada, sino fue acompañada de la diócesis. Y la diócesis no estuvo aislada, sino que se nombró una comisión por parte de la Conferencia Episcopal para acompañar el diálogo de paz.
So what I will say is that we never were alone in this role, that we have the support from the church organization, but also from the Conference of Bishops in Mexico.
Los logros que pudimos tener, pues no son extraordinarios. No se logró establecer de la paz, desde luego, pero logramos que con la presión nacional e internacional se saliera de la dinámica militar a la dinámica política de diálogo.
I don't think that we achieved a lot, but it was very meaningful what we did, because we were able to move. We couldn't get a peace agreement or something like that, but at least we prevented the usual dynamics that had existed in the past, that was the repression from the army to the indigenous movement, and that didn't happen.
Se logró también que se programaran 6 mesas de diálogo para discutir la agenda que los indígenas demandaban al gobierno, una agenda llena de demandas justas.
We also, the other achievement was to be able to plan for a 6-month dialogue in which the indigenous movement will come with an agenda of issues that needed to be solved as a result of the life situation.
Se logró también que hubiera una participación ciudadana bastante amplia, tanto a nivel de los llamados cordeles o círculos de seguridad, como también en alguna forma en la participación ante los medios de comunicación.
We also were able to promote and to give a space for a massive citizen participation from the very small circles of citizens at the local level to the mass media communication component in the whole process.
Y se logró también que se aceptara por ambas partes reglas para el diálogo, de suerte que al terminar el diálogo en cada mesa se tenían que empezar a cumplir los acuerdos, no hasta el fin de la discusión.
But we also were able to reach an agreement in which every time a table finalized with a particular agreement, that agreement will take place and will be implemented instead of waiting until all the tables were finishing and then to start implementing it. So it was more a progressive process rather than waiting for the final bang.
Desde el final de la primera etapa del diálogo y después de las etapas subsiguientes, descubrimos la doble política que tenía el gobierno, dialogar por un lado y agredir por el otro.
Once the first phase was over and the second phase of this dialogue started or continued, something that we discovered was this double phase or way of the government of acting. And one was to keep involved in dialogue, but on the other hand, to pressing and sending the army to those communities.
Por fin nos dimos claramente cuenta de que el gobierno no tenía voluntad de diálogo ni voluntad de negociar, sino que su política era la de disminuir la fuerza de los zapatistas para que en la mesa de diálogo se pagara el precio menor posible por cualquier acuerdo.
In reality, the government was not interested in responding to the demands and to the needs of the population. What they wanted to do was to weaken the Zapatista, the indigenous movement, in such a way that when they were dialoguing, the government was not paying a high price for the demands from the Zapatistas.
Al constatar que no había voluntad de diálogo, la CONAI, o sea, la Comisión Nacional de Intermediación, decidió desaparecer porque era evidente que éramos utilizados por el gobierno diciendo que querían dialogar cuando esa no era su intención.
When realizing that the government in reality didn't have the willingness of negotiating and dialoguing, then the negotiators, we decided to withdraw from the process because we realized that we had been used by the government for their own purposes.
Termino con unos brochazos rápidos sobre la situación actual.
I finish very quickly with some broad strokes.
Al declarar la inexistencia de la voluntad de diálogo, se logró, sin embargo, que los acuerdos de la primera mesa fueran presentados por el actual presidente de la República, habiendo ofrecido eso cuando era candidato de campaña.
Something that was achieved was that when we announced that we were withdrawing from the process, then the president at that time in Mexico accepted and declared about the agreements of the first table at the very beginning of the process. And so this person who was the president at that time, when the dialogue started, was the candidate for a presidency.
Lo interpretaron mal y no pudo corregir él lo que dijo el presidente. No fue su único error. Decir que en Chiapas el asunto se arreglaba en 15 minutos.
People interpreted in a wrong way, but the president did say something like this, that the situation in Chiapas will be solved in 15 minutes.
En realidad lo que quería decir era que la voluntad de dialogar en 15 minutos se podía cambiar, no todo el asunto o el proceso de varios años de aplastamiento social.
When in reality probably he wanted to say was that the willingness to negotiate and dialogue could change in 15 minutes, but not really to overcome all the problems and difficulties that those people were facing.
Cumplió su palabra de presentar los acuerdos en Andrés firmados por ambas partes al Congreso de la Unión, pero el Congreso de la Unión no los aprobó, sino los modificó.
So the president was able to bring and present those agreements to the Congress, but the Congress didn't approve them the way they were written, so they modified the terms of the agreement and they approved those agreements with modifications.
Eso trajo un grande desaliento para los indígenas en México y quizás a todo el continente, pero interesantemente nunca utilizaron hasta el momento presente los zapatistas sus armas para rebelarse en contra del gobierno, cosa que no hizo el gobierno por su lado. Que lo que hicieron los zapatistas fue que no usaron jamás las armas, aunque el gobierno sí la usó contra ellos.
Something that happened as a result of this, the Congress approving the agreement with a lot of changes, it was a lot of disappointment between or across the indigenous movement, not only Chiapas, but also Mexico and in many places in Latin America. However, even with that situation, the Zapatistas and the indigenous movement decided not to use weapons to support their demands. Something that was totally contrary to what the government was doing, that was repressing the movement with the army.
¿Cuál es la situación política actual? Hay un desaliento, pero al mismo tiempo una voluntad de los zapatistas de aplicar unilateralmente los acuerdos de la primera mesa y así estableció lo que se llaman juntas de buen gobierno y regiones de juntas de gobierno llamadas caracoles.
Okay, I'm going to try.
Sorry.
Yeah. So even though there is no this national agreement, the Zapatistas decided on their side to implement the terms of the agreement reached during the first table of discussion. And following those agreements, then what they have been doing is creating the local community governments in their community.
Estas fuerzas de buen gobierno están constituidas por gentes de la base elegidas cada 15 días, de manera que hombres y mujeres de la sociedad o de las comunidades indígenas cada 15 días toman el gobierno para dar un servicio obedeciendo, mandar obedeciendo.
These local governments, they call juntas de buen gobierno, that is something like councils of good governance. And they are elected every 2 weeks. So then there is no one lasting for more than 2 weeks as an authority within those communities.
Aunque teóricamente hablando y públicamente el gobierno dijo que eso no era en contra de la Constitución, se está planteando un serio problema para el propio gobierno.
This is happening right now in Chiapas. And even though the government is saying that that type of political situation is not against the Constitution, the government is facing a problem with this event. But the fact that there is this zone in which local governments are autonomous and governing themselves because the people are elected from the same community.
Hay, por otro lado, el retorno de los militares en lugares muy alejados que no pueden ser contemplados, pero siguen reprimiendo en algunas comunidades a los indígenas, los militares.
The other situation is that the army is still present, and even though it's not necessarily at the center of the indigenous movement, they are in places in which can be closer to what is happening.
Y por otro lado, la institución llamada paramilitares, o sea, gente contratada por el gobierno y entrenada por militares y inclusive armada por el propio gobierno para controlar a los zapatistas, se le salieron de su control al gobierno actualmente. Los paramilitares.
Yeah. The other situation is that the government started creating paramilitary movements that I think that here you can call them like militias. And these people are supposed to support what the government is doing. But currently it seems that these militias or paramilitaries are out of control of the government, from the government.
Termino diciendo, porque hago una pregunta, ¿qué podemos como canadienses hacer nosotros en esa situación? Una pregunta un poco difícil, yo no puedo decirle en conciencia lo que tienen que hacer ustedes.
The question that I have, and I have an answer for that, is what can you as Canadian do in regard to this situation? Something that you need to decide for yourself.
Pero algunas cosas se me ocurren. Primero, estar al tanto por caminos seguros de la correcta información sobre lo que pasa.
But I have some suggestions for you. One is keep updated about the situation through channels in which there is a guarantee that what they are communicating is what is happening.
El problema es ahí ¿cómo se llama? La bocina. Si te retiras más atrás.
He knows a lot, eh? Okay.
La segunda cosa es el resultado de que los indígenas estén en el piso bajo de la sociedad no es por su propia voluntad, sino es por el funcionamiento de la sociedad, no por el buen funcionamiento del gobierno, porque desde Alaska hasta la Patagonia el indígena está en el piso bajo de la sociedad.
The other situation is that the fact that indigenous communities and Native communities are at the bottom of the society is not because there is a Mexican government or the army, because that situation is similar not only in Mexico, it's also in Alaska, in Canada, all over America.
¿Quién fija el precio del café, por ejemplo? Las 4 comunidades que se levantaron en Chiapas en armas se levantaron porque el precio del café bajó internacionalmente. Pero ¿quién fija el precio del café? ¿El productor? ¿El gobierno que lo exporta? ¿El gobierno que importa? ¿La compañía que lo compra? No, hay normas internacionales del comercio que afectan esta situación.
We are talking about international order. For example, who decides how much I'm going to get for the coffee that I grow? Is a decision from the producers of coffee, from those who buy the coffee, from the government, from the companies that market the coffee? Well, not necessarily. There are international rules that determine that process and determines then the price of the coffee.
Por último, existen y han llegado por acá numerosas ya cooperativas indígenas de producción de productos agrícolas sin fertilizantes químicos que pueden realmente utilizarse en lo que se llama comercio justo o apoyar organizaciones que apoyan proyectos en los indígenas en Chiapas o en otras partes.
But there is also this movement in which farmers produce in cooperatives and then what they call fair trade. Or organic vegetables.
Thank you for the translation and also thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Before you leave, Don Luis has agreed to take some question and answer. As you know from the poster, we are going to take a free will offering. We have some volunteers from St. Jerome's who will pass around baskets. I know as a bishop emeritus and a priest, Don Luis will feel at home speaking as the basket is being passed around. This isn't the first time that the basket has been passed. The money raised will be used to help fund Bishop Luis's trip to Canada, and any money that go beyond those expenses will be donated to some of the groups that Bishop Luis talked about in his talk. So the money will be going directly to the expenses of the visit. I think that long list of sponsors that I named before Don Luis spoke has covered most of those expenses. So please give generously because this money will be going to these grassroots movements in Mexico themselves. So while that's going around, I'm going to get a chair up here, and I'll give you this microphone, and we will have a brief question and answer period. Here, and I'll move. Yes. Would you like some water? No. How about yourself? You have a real emphasis. No, I'm yeah. Okay, we can take questions now. I will come around with a microphone. I'll ask you to speak clearly into the microphone. And as soon as I figure out how to turn it on, that is. And Don Ruiz will respond. This question, Bishop, is more about your role as a pastor and as a faithful person. I want to know how you're able to maintain your hope and survive as a leader when the church you belong to has obviously in Latin America spawned a movement called liberation theology, which is touted as that which supported your people, and that same movement is discredited by the Roman pontiff in his various visits to Latin America, and you yourself therefore are kind of put on the spot, because here you are operating with Comunidades de Base, who ostensibly came as a result of liberation theology, and your leaders, your bosses in Rome, are saying, hey, that's not the way to go. You've got to have different approaches, maybe like Opus Dei. How do you maintain your hope and survive as a bishop?
La esperanza no se mantiene en ningún lugar del mundo con la teología, sino con la fe, porque la caridad y la esperanza son virtudes teologales. En América Latina no evangelizamos con teología, sino evangelizamos con el evangelio.
We maintain the hope because we work based not in theology but in faith. And faith is what sustains us to do what we do. So the base of the movement is based on faith and
La fe y la esperanza,
faith and hope.
y que en América Latina más nos importa la liberación que la teología.
And in Latin America, we are more interested in liberation than in theology.
No quiero escapar a la pregunta porque es una pregunta de mucho fondo. ¿Cómo se puede mantener la esperanza? Mi proceso fue el siguiente. Viendo la situación de opresión y represión, y no solamente, sino hasta de miseria de los comunidades indígenas, no pude yo escapar a decir, algo tenemos que hacer aquí, según nuestra fe y nuestra creencia, en favor del mundo.
However, I want to respond to your question in regard to hope and faith. And what keeps us doing what we do is when we look at the situation of the poor and the indigenous communities in our midst, and to see their poverty and their misery, the only way is to react to that and to say, we need to do something about that.
Pero al mismo tiempo sucedió en el mundo que vino el Concilio Ecuménico Vaticano II, al cual tuve la oportunidad de asistir, y después del concilio la reunión de los obispos en Medellín.
But also we had the inspiration that at that time we had the Vatican II Concilium, and later the meeting of the Latin American bishops in Medellín, Colombia.
Allí los obispos en Medellín, Colombia, como se hizo también en el concilio, dijeron que había que hacer una opción por el pobre, descubriendo que no hay ricos y pobres en yuxtaposición, sino que hay ricos y pobres en sobreposición. Hay riqueza porque hay pobreza porque hay riqueza.
Something that we decided in Medellin, in Colombia, was that we need to choose the option for the poor, because we realized that poor and rich were not in juxtaposition or together, but rather in overposition, so that they were poor because they are rich.
Por tanto, lo que los obispos descubren y indican en Medellín es que lo primero que hay que hacer es una opción por el pobre. Si yo, saliendo de mi casa, veo que hay un hombre prepotente que está matando a un niño, no me pongo a pensar con qué tipo de teología le voy a hablar, sino tengo que optar por ponerlo en medio de los dos.
By opting for the poor, what we do is, when we are on the street and we see a powerful guy oppressing a child, I'm not going to think what theology I'm going to use. I'm going to put myself between both to prevent the stronger guy hurt the weak one.
Luego me daré cuenta qué cosa fue lo que hizo este niño que causó ira a esta persona y discutiremos con él de qué manera se puede resolver esas situaciones. Y ese es el tercer momento, que es lo que se llama teología.
Once I have prevented the oppression or the killing of this boy, then I will learn what was the fact or the situation that created this reaction from the other guy, and then we will talk about it, and then we start creating theology.
En América Latina, por tanto, no es la teología una corriente doctrinal que se aplica a una realidad, sino es el resultado de una opción dialogando la situación a lo cual nos lleva la teología. Es el último momento, no el primero.
So theology is not a concept or ideas that come from here and land in the reality, but rather is the result of dealing with the reality, and as a result of that dialogue or living that reality, then create the theology.
Lo que sucedió al hacer una opción por el pobre es que se descubrió o se volvió a descubrir la fuerza del mandamiento de Cristo de amar al hermano.
With the option for the poor, what we realized and discovered was the strength and the force that is in the gospel and the word from Jesus saying to
Amar al hermano.
love my brother.
Pero al mismo tiempo dijo que eran los pobres, que de los pobres era el reino de los cielos. De manera que amar al pobre es amar a Jesucristo.
But he also said that to love the poor is to love him. So therefore, by opting for the poor, we are opting for Jesus.
Al acercarnos nosotros al indígena y descubrir su pobreza en la cual íbamos a ayudar, descubrimos la riqueza de su fe y la grandeza de sus valores. Y entonces eso alimentó evidentemente nuestra fuerza y nuestra esperanza.
When working and approaching and being in contact with the indigenous and their poverty, we also realize how rich is their culture and their faith. And by then realizing and learning that, then we also grow. So we become bigger or stronger.
Déjeme poner un ejemplo que se me ocurre ahora. Manuel Gómez López, un catequista antiguo, tenía un hijo al cual le puso como por nombre mi nombre, Samuel, porque éramos conocidos y amigos. Y Samuelito se enfermó de muerte.
Just let me give you an example. A catechist from my diocese, he had a child and he named him after me. So it was Samuel, Samuelito. But Samuelito got very, very sick, like a deadly sickness.
Manuel Gómez López conocía algo de medicina, pero todos los esfuerzos que hizo por ayudar a su hijo, vio él que eran inútiles y que ya iba a morir.
Manuel Gómez Lopez, with the name of the father, knew some medicine, and he tried to use that medicine with his son, but he realized that it was useless, that his son was going to die.
Viendo esto, acercó una silla cerca de la cama donde estaba su hijito y empezó a hablarle.
So after realizing this, Manuel just brought a chair beside Samuelito's bed and started talking to him.
Samuelito, yo tenía la esperanza de que tú ibas a ser mi sucesor como catequista, pero Dios te quiere llamar cerca de él.
Samuelito, I was hoping that you will succeed me as a catechist, but now I realize that God is calling you to be with Him.
Y al llegar a ese momento, le empezó a decir, cuando llegues cerca de Dios, platícale todos estos problemas que hay en nuestra comunidad. Y empecé a contarle al niño los problemas para que llegara como una especie de carta de entrega inmediata al Señor.
So I told Samuelito, when you are close to God, please tell Him all the problems that we have here. And he started telling Samuelito all the difficulties and problems that the community was facing.
Eso evidentemente alimenta nuestra esperanza.
So the child became as a letter carrier for God, and that is something that keep our faith alive and hope.
Where do I talk into? At the end? Okay. I have to hold this. Okay. Bishop, I was wondering that during the mediation, when you were the mediator with the government, Mexican government, and your people, was your life ever in danger at any time? One question. Number two question, at any time through the whole mediation, did you feel any support from Rome, from the Vatican, in any way, shape, or form?
During the mediation, but even before, we were already under threat. Every time we denounce injustice or crimes or something that happened, people who already felt threatened by us. So we felt threatened by people even before.
En tiempo de la presencia de los guatemaltecos en Chiapas, un indígena fue contratado y pagado para asesinarme, pero tomó bastante trago, bastante alcohol, y le salió la verdad ante su esposa, a la cual le empezó a dar dinero que no se sabía de dónde venía, y se supo entonces la situación. Este muchacho jamás supo que yo sabía que él estaba contratado.
During the times in which the Guatemalan people came to Chiapas, indigenous was contracted, paid by someone to kill the bishop. And then this guy started drinking. So he got drunk, went to his house, and told his wife what he was supposed to do, while he was just giving her money that nobody knew from where it was coming. So this guy never did anything to him, and still he doesn't know that Don Samuel knows about him.
Cuando se inició el diálogo, recibí una comunicación telefónica del secretario de Gobierno de México diciéndome, señor obispo, está el señor presidente muy agradecido porque ha aceptado usted la mediación, pero estamos preocupados por su seguridad y el presidente me pide que usted acepte, que le ruegue, que le pida insistentemente que acepte una protección oficial.
When the negotiation started, the dialogue started, I received a phone call from the personal secretary of the president, and he told me that they were very thankful for his role as a mediator, but they were also very afraid about his safety, and they were offering, asking, begging him to accept personal protection from the government.
Yo le contesté, señor licenciado, cuando yo acepté el ser obispo, aceptación libre, sabía yo que mi trabajo tenía que tener peligros, eso nos lo anunció Jesucristo. Pero en este momento en que voy a entrar en la mediación, mi trabajo va más allá de mi diócesis y entonces yo acepto que no puedo controlar mi seguridad a ese nivel.
Since the moment I started working, I knew that by working with a negotiation, I mean, I was in danger. But also I acknowledge that now in this process, the whole situation goes beyond my diocese. And so, yeah, the risk is even higher in regard to my personal safety.
Desde entonces le dije yo, por tanto yo acepto el que haya una protección. ¿Cuál es mi obligación? Ninguna, no tiene más que aceptar. Les tengo que dar algún emolumento, algún salario. No, el gobierno va a proteger y eso corre por su cuenta. Y hasta el momento tengo 7 personas que me cuidan, de manera que cuidar ahorita.
So he asked the guy from the government, so what do I have to pay to these people who are going to protect me? And the person from the government said, no, you don't have to pay anything. The government will pay everything. So until now, I have 7 people who protect me in my diocese. So yes, I'm protected.
Pero yo quiero decir que esto no nos libró evidentemente de llamadas telefónicas anónimas, de amenazas, inclusive mi hermana que
However, that doesn't necessarily mean that there is no risk. So I have received death threats, phone calls intimidating me, but also my sister, who died recently, she was attacked by someone who hit her with a hammer, with a hammer in her head, and this same person is supposed to also have orders to go after him.
Por otro lado, no se piense que soy agresivo, aunque aparezca como una agresión la respuesta. No tenemos nosotros que pedir permiso al Papa para respirar, o para comer, o para trabajar, para hacer nuestro trabajo. No tenemos que esperar el aliento, la animación o la aprobación para lo que tenemos que hacer.
Please don't take this as an aggressive way of acting from my side, but we don't need to ask the Pope about what do we eat, how do we work, what do we say, how do we do things.
Sin embargo, directamente en una carta entregada al Papa yo le mencioné cuál era la situación y el Papa en varias ocasiones habló sobre la paz en el mundo, no mencionando Chiapas, pero evidentemente hablando de la paz también en México.
However, do you remember I delivered personally a letter to the Pope? So the Pope sometimes has or talk about the peace in the world, and we understood that he was also referring to peace in Chiapas.
Y mencioné que la Conferencia Episcopal Mexicana fundó una comisión de 8 obispos que tenía el encargo del seguimiento del proceso de paz y fueron varias veces a Chiapas para hablar con todos los actores y dieron comunicaciones a la nación, a la iglesia y a Roma también sobre lo que pasaba en Chiapas.
But also the National Conference of Bishops in Mexico developed and organized a committee from the church with 8 bishops who follow up the whole process of negotiations and have been able to dialogue, to talk and communicate what had happened.
Pero sabíamos nosotros que riesgos y peligros son inherentes a nuestro trabajo pastoral.
But we know that risk and danger is something inherent to our role as bishops or pastors.
No he merecido la gracia de ser mártir como Monseñor Oscar Romero, pero algún día quizá podrá suceder.
I haven't received the grace to be a martyr as Bishop Romero in El Salvador, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it won't happen.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have tonight. Don Ruiz is going to another event tonight in Toronto, and so we can't keep him here too late because then he'll be late in Toronto. So I'm going to ask Debbie Chapman of the Mexico Solidarity Network to thank Bishop Ruiz on our behalves.
First of all, Don Samuel did not give us a theory here. He gave us the example of the Zapatistas and the example of himself and his activities in Chiapas and in Mexico. Actions precede theory. He inspires me to reinitiate my own political activities, and in that process to encourage my children who are in the audience to also fight against human rights violations in the world and to take this seriously. A nombre de las organizaciones y los patrocinadores, le quiero agradecer primero por haber aceptado nuestra invitación aquí y segundo por una plática tan informativa. Para nosotros, su visita ha sido realmente un honor. Le presento con ese pequeño regalo de parte de los organizadores del grupo. Ese es un libro que habla de la historia de la gente de Canadá. Esperamos que al regresar a México, don Samuel, que su trabajo político y social sigue inspirando a la gente en su lucha contra las violaciones de derechos humanos y por un mundo mejor. Just to conclude, I would like to invite anybody who's interested in reinitiating the Mexico Solidarity Network or organization in support of the struggles throughout Latin America to meet in the corner back there. This will be a 2-minute gathering to see if there is an interest in continuing on with such work. So, if as soon as we finish, you could go to that back corner, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Debbie. One last thing, if I may. I would like to also thank a number of people who have put this event together. Saul Olmos, the Toronto coordinator of Bishop Ruiz's visit. Martina Fernandez, the secretary to Bishop Ruiz. I'm going to apologize beforehand for my Spanish. We'd like to thank also Elicio Martel, our translator, for his wonderful work. We really put him on the spot today, and he struggled, but he overcame. So I would like to also again thank Renison College, their principal, John Crossley, St. Jerome's College, the president, Michael Higgins, for their support of this event. Our MP, Andrew Telegety, who supported this event. Linda Snyder, the Associate Professor in Social Work at Renison College. Thank you, Linda and Debbie Chapman from the Mexico Solidarity Network. Rebecca Hull, the communications person at Renison, who did so much to publicize this event. And finally, the Secretary of the St. Jerome Center, Carol Person, whose excellent organization has once again allowed us to bring to you an excellent speaker. And my last thank yous are for Bishop Ruiz for a wonderful talk, and for you for your patience and your participation and your support of events like this. Thank you so much. Goodbye.